policy. So at our school especially, we start the changes of the teachers' teaching practice using the ICT by changing their mindsets and changing also the policy. So we just say that today we're not going to teach without the technology. Okay, and you have to agree with that. And we have strict rules. Then there are some point in the classroom that the teacher must join this kind of teaching with technology in this area. If you're not going to be really interested and engaging teacher anymore. So my point is that we have to have a very clear and strict policy as the leader of the school. And the second one, we have to put it in the classroom as well. We have to have like clear rules in the classroom, what to do with the ICT during the teaching, which is okay. And I believe if that clear policy applies in our school, the supervisor will come again to the school then and will be accepted wisely. Thank you. Right, nice.
Just adding to that, not the supervisor, it depends on what kind of supervisor you are. If I just say, okay, I've heard of this ad, and it is, oh, I saw this ad, what it is, and how can it make things easier and simpler for you? The minute you do that, definitely it will grab some attention there. So, and will start finding at least for easier, simpler, what? That's right. Yes, you want to say something.
Yeah, to add it up, good policy and making clear expectation to your teacher is definitely a must. But one more thing to add, maybe as a supervisor to your teacher, you have to manage your expectation, but you have to vibe it well, because we vibe our expectation. So the way our face or the way we teach or do it, your teachers can feel it, and then from there on they will decide whether this will become something fun to do or this will become a new task for them to explore. So first about that, and usually just force them to come and sit. Okay, what do you have? It's okay, just come, sit, listen. You like it? If you think it is will be helpful for you, for your classroom in your teaching, do it. If not, fine. And I say first, fine, but open mind, sit, listen first.
Yeah. So I think like what we have heard from the other experts as well, it is important to have a clear policy, and I think it's also important for leaders, administrators, teachers to also get our hands dirty, roll out our sleeves, and be able to just try it out. So I think if I put a sentence that I think all of us can relate to, tell me and I'll forget, show me and I'll remember, involve me and I'll understand. So I think in the process of doing so, like trying to demonstrate to one another how the affordances, the potentials of each tool, each technique, each pedagogy can bring, I think it's also time for us to also demonstrate some empathy for the teachers on the ground, because I think the teachers, I think life is not so easy for the teacher these few days, right? I mean, like during teacher training times, we would say, oh, a teacher not just have eyes in front of us, but we must also have eyes 360 degrees to look at all the 40 students in the class. And nowadays, we don't just need to look at the students, we also need to pay attention to what they are looking at on their screens as well, on their mobile phones, on their tablets and PCs, computers in front of them. So really, I think a little bit of empathy for our teachers also goes a great long way into getting the buy-in from the teachers as well.
Thank you. This panel is wonderful because they just go on, and I just sit here and I look at them go. So they have actually given us quite a bit of food for thought so far. So what I've picked up here, and I'll summarize it for everyone, is that when we are communicating the policies for digital learning to our teachers, number one, the idea of block the supervisor in response to the idea of a mindset change, right? And I really like the term that Leo used, vibing. What's our vibe as the supervisors, as the leaders? And we've got to vibe it right so that it doesn't come across as something that's top down. And of course, what Han Bin said, when do we hold something tight and when do we let it go loose? It's almost like flying a kite, isn't it? And how we say, how we actually communicate to our teachers on the grounds matters. Having that empathy matters, and communicating it explicitly matters. So that's what we have so far. So my next question is, what should we consider? I hear what you said just now, but there are still teachers who need a lot of encouragement, especially in the pursuit of continuous upskilling where digital competencies are concerned. How have you tried to support this from where you are?
Okay, Christy. So, supporting teachers in improving their competencies in IT is one of the greatest jobs for the leaders actually, and also the teachers. So in this issues, I would like to propose 3 points to point out. The first is making clear the goals and the policy. And don't be mistaken, what I'm saying is that the policy must be in a 2 sides. The first side is very clear what is the expected from the teacher's performance in terms of the ICT. And the second one, this is about the policy, how to value and reward the student and reward the teachers who really embrace in their technology. So a policy, in my viewpoint, the first side is about the clear expectation and standard, and the second one is clear incentive and reward for the teacher. Yeah, that's one of the points. And the second one, for some schools, especially those in developing countries, like my country especially, you know that the infrastructure is quite essential, and most of the school needs a lot of help in that terms. So if we are willing to improve the teachers' competence in this area, so the first agenda I think is how to provide the teacher with the supporting facilities, starting from like the internet access. Like in my school, we provide the whole school with a high access internet, and then the second one is with the devices that they need, including the student as well. So if we talk about technology, but the infrastructure and the access is not really clearly provided by the school, this is something a bit, I might say, challenging for the teachers, and maybe a bit frustrating as well. Okay. So that's the 2 points. And the last one is, I say this is incentive. What I'm saying is that we have to have a clear incentive for those who perform very well in teaching with their technology. And in my school, we have this is like a teacher's IT innovation. We put in a corner of the school that every teacher who has new innovation in technology, they must have a reward for them. We put the name and what is the ideas of technology that you can propose to the school. And the school, especially the leader, must have a clear reward for this. This is what we are doing then. So I found out these 3 points. The teachers is quite positive in using and learning the new technology, and also the teachers, that's great. It's very demanding. On the other hand, it's very rewarding. Right, nice, thanks.
Let me jump in just for a little while. I would really like to challenge you a little bit more. I hear that there must be rewards for those who are at the forefront. And I think possibly many institutions do have that. But we will always have teachers or staff that's all the way at the back. And they tend to come with no, that's not for me. I'm okay. I don't need this reward. I don't want it. What do we do with these people? Anyone?
Yeah, so I'd like to bring together what the previous 2 speakers have spoken. I really like what Abi says about, I think, having strong leadership is extremely important. So Abi talked about clear policy, clear support structures, clear reward mechanisms, and yet, we have a spectrum of teachers. We have teachers who are like trailblazers, try everything newest app available in Google, Microsoft Store, But yet we also have teachers who might need a little bit more nudging, who might be thinking about different perceptions of their levels of readiness and their knowledge as well. I think so that brings some nuances in the way we do ICT tech digitalization in schools with teachers as well. I mean, on one hand, we talk about infrastructure, we like to be like Marvel superheroes, right? Oh, like Wi-Fi access, everything, everywhere, all at once, right? Internet must be as fast as possible. If you don't get to do e-payment in a single second, you get so frustrated. But yet, in terms of like teacher PD professional development, sometimes we have to take a back seat. We have to grant teachers the time and space to breathe, to try it out, So I think if we say we want teachers to have like what Leo says, right, have better vibes, have more empathy for teachers, we have to not just think about the tools or the platform or the technology, but we have to go back to like curriculum design principles, pedagogies and andragogies based on like student needs. What do the higher ability learners need? How about the students who need educational support? So go back to like the number one purpose of what calls us back into teaching. So we join the education service because we all want to like bring out the fullest potential in every student that comes under our care. So when we go back to this student-centeredness, teachers as the key, and when we build relationships with teachers and with students, we get a far better chance of having teachers think about how we can bring the affordances of technology to really value add and value create the educational experiences for our students.
Thank you. Amrita, adding to that, I also feel that teachers face a huge time crunch. So what if we can add a dedicated smart play, giving time to get into the innovations and the ideas we initiated? Like it's always easy to read out a list and then say, okay, just do this. When do they do it? So just make it a little more easy for them, create a time slot, because I've seen that teachers often communicate that they don't get time to do so much. That's one way of doing it. And second thing that comes to my mind is that you can market your teachers based on the emotions that matter the most to them. And see which emotion you want to target. Somebody says that, okay, like climbing up the career ladder is important, use that too. For somebody else, it's time to crunch. Third person could be another emotion. So I think we could target those emotions and motivate them to then take up initiative.
Okay, so I hear what you say, that Hanbin was saying curriculum design principles are important, and we do want to go back to those and make our teachers understand that those pedagogical know-how, the traditional pedagogical know-how still matters. We're not throwing everything out. And what this brings to mind is, in our earlier conversation before we came up to the stage and before we actually met face to face, I remember Abhi was actually talking about the idea, and Hanbin as well, the idea of open classrooms, building cultures in our schools and our institutions of sharing. And the idea that open classrooms, do they need to be model lessons? Do they need to be?
I think so. So, at my school actually we have a block of building, and we designed the fourth building is a building without any wall there. So what we are expecting is that when one teacher is teaching, the good one teaching in this area, and the other teacher is going to involve in that area there. That what I mean is an open teaching there. And dealing with this as well, we have like a shadowing approaches actually to open the class there. So for those, if you talk about narrowing the gap of the teachers who expand and not, we invite the expert teacher with the non-expert teacher to teach in the same speaking places. So like a shadowing, and I think this is a very nice teacher's development for those actually who still reluctant to use the technology. I can see, you think like this, and I want to be like this in my class then. And yeah, that's what we're doing there. Settling and opening the class, opening spaces for the teaching. That is quite nice time because
So model lessons can be designed as per the need analysis that we do where the teaching level gaps are there. Right? So once we identify that these are the needs, these are the gaps, we can design these model lessons in a way that they cater to the need. It's like tailoring, customizing to the need of the teachers. So that's how I think the model lessons can bring about the required professional development.
Yeah, so I hear Amrita talking about teachers' needs, and I think that's an area where data can be very important as well. So, like for example, like at the start of the school year, we can like do a dipstick survey to find out from each and individual teacher, what are your needs, what are your interests, and then after that, the school leadership, the school management can like suggest, some possible learning pathways and platforms. But we just pitch it as just suggestions, because we also believe in andragogy, the principles of adult learning, where if we want teachers as adults to have the time and space and the autonomy, the responsibility to figure it out for himself or herself, what they need and how they want to figure out, So I think technology has also brought about many ways to learn about teaching and not just EdTech in general. So like open classrooms is one of the ways, and of course there are also many like demonstrations, videos that you can figure out. And of course we know teachers on the ground, they are also like busy. Sometimes it's like when teacher A is having an open classroom demonstration lesson, other teachers may not be available because of like timetable clashes. But that's again areas where technology can help as well, because we can do video recording of lessons, and then now like with AI we can even do like live transcription of all these demonstration lessons, and then we can forward and share these lessons and the transcripts for analysis as well. And last but not least, I'd also like to add this point. We believe in the power of communities, right? So like the football club say, we never walk alone. So we can find a few folks, like-minded folks to work with us, get teachers to like work in like cooperative teams and try to like figure out things for each other. And when teachers work in groups and in teams, it will be a far more sustainable journey together.
Leon, yes, what do you think?
Definitely Liverpool fans would definitely agree you'll never walk alone. But just to add a few things, I totally agree with that. Modeling the lesson well, having an open classroom is a good example for teachers are really important, because nowadays I think teachers are burdened with too many technical stuff that they have to learn when a new something is introduced to them. They don't actually need to know all the technical stuff. They just need to know how to use it well. The practical one that they really need to use in the classroom, and definitely making the curriculum for the teachers to learn about these new digital advances. That's also a very important thing, because you don't design or don't give it technical stuff. They don't need to know all the tabs and all the icons and menus. They just need to know to use it well in the classroom. And in the end of the day, they are all teachers. We are all teachers. If their heart is in the right place, they will surely want to make their lesson interesting. And then if that application or new digital advancement are good, they will definitely use it.
right. Community learnings. I like your statement there. So at our school, and also some of the school I see, every year we nominate an inspiring teacher. And after being nominated as a teacher, she has the responsibility to assist and teach together with those with the lack of knowledge in the IT lab. So that's a community in our school actually. So community of learning is quite important, I think, Christy, because you know that technology at the moment is quite challenging for the teachers. In the past, you only have two knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, content knowledge. But at the moment, we have to accept that all teachers must study the technology knowledge. And this area is quite new actually, and we have to blend together. And that way we need a community of learning at our school. That's one of famous idea. We also put in our school there.
Yeah, when we talk about community right within a school, it's interesting. Specifically, I think what we were talking about for open classrooms, and the power of open classrooms doesn't just stay with the open classroom, right? It's very much to do with what happens after the open classroom. That if we get teachers to form a discussive community and talk about what went well and what did not, then the power of the open classroom is twofold. Not only does it inspire other teachers to want to do as well, it also brings, that every teacher closer together, that it's okay when something didn't go well. What could we have done differently? And we dare to fail. Reflections. And the idea of failing safely. I think for even our teachers, failing safely is important, which is what we talked about just now, isn't it? Empathy, that vibing, that policy and how we actually open up for our teachers to feel okay.
Different dimension here. We all are facing problems with teacher attrition worldwide, particularly post-pandemic. So once you have these beautifully curated open classrooms and model lessons happening, the new joinees, they understand that these are the basic standards that have to be met in this ecosystem, and that makes it very easy for us to help them to adapt to the environment. So that is again something that comes out of these model lessons, to my mind.
Thank you very much. We're left with about 12 minutes or so. So I'd like to open up for the floor. If any of you have got questions, this would be a great time to ask and pick the brains of our experts here. Can't actually see you very well because of the light. But anyone at all? Yes.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andriani, and I also come from Indonesia. And I know that the discussion today is more towards how we could encourage our teachers to accept digital technology. But I would like to pick our panel's brain a little bit more regarding, do you have any idea or suggestion how to influence or motivate the owner of the school to put their models more, capitals more towards digital innovation for the teachers and for the students? So first, that's my question. My second question will be, again, any ideas for digital application or methods for primary level students, especially the lower levels for grade 1 to 3, because we are concerned about screen times, for younger children, and for younger children, we want them to experience education in a more active way, to touch things, the real things, not in abstract ideas or just pictures. Especially with children that live in big cities, they rarely see animals nowadays. They only see from the screen. They don't even know what frogs look like because there's no frogs around them. They live in big cities. So what kind of digital tools that the school can use or teachers can use that can help lower level students, the primary level especially. And again, back to my first question, is there any suggestion how to convince the owner of the school to implement digital technology or to put their money into application and such? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great question.
For first question.
Yes.
Okay, it's very nice. Nice question, I think. How to motivate the owner of the school so that they want to improve and invest in IT who demanding a lot of investment. Okay, one single answer. One of the examples is that by inviting the owner to attending this kind of meeting, surely. And I'm very happy, and I'm like, because I'm actually the teachers and also the CEO and also the owner, actually not owner, but the founder of my school then. And I'm quite eager to learn about education, especially how technology can be installed in our school then. So again, to your question, how to motivate is by inviting the owner of the school to meet a lot of people then. A lot of people, especially the educators and also those who work in IT services, like EDUtech experts. That's one of my suggestions. Thanks.
Amrita, also, probably you can again identify the emotion that is closest to their heart. Say today an investor wants to see more numbers in the school. So you can turn around the conversation saying that how this particular initiative can lead to the goal that they have for them. So I feel it's all about kind of like understanding what they want and then how technology today or these initiatives can serve to get us there. And that should work. You know anything?
Actually, for question number one, I can really relate with that. And as I mentioned that we have 18 schools with their own fundings, their own budgets. Technology, I have to talk to 18 boards of directors every time there's something that needs to be pushed. And honestly, it's really when we talk about budget, especially in Indonesia, yeah, the budget is tight. And if you have good leaders who are not blockers, no blockers, they usually block everything, right? And then not blinkers, the one that just blink. Every time you bring up something, they just blink. And then, yeah. So basically, if you have good leaders, a good CEO and founder like Abia, your work is cut out for this. Then, for you have blinkers and blockers. My personal advice would be to keep on nagging. You nag and nag. Every time you have a board meeting, you nag about it again, and then finally, this is a bit far stretch. I usually even do some budget, some way to find other incomes from anyways, and then I directly ask again, and usually you get not whole but partially fulfilled. So yeah, so I hope that helps. Budget is tight. I know it's hard, but keep on trying.
Hi. Yeah, we heard three experts on question one. I think, yeah, if I just lend a little bit more wisdom to it. I mean, my name says the initial HP, right? Yeah, so HP computers are invented in a garage in Palo Alto, California. I think it's also a gentle reminder for ourselves, yeah, just like great computers can be invented in a garage. We don't always need the sexiest gadgets and ambience to have a breakthrough in terms of pushing for technology and educational change. And if I might just add a little bit about question two, I think I remember she was asking a little bit about like elementary school. How about like earnest children and like anxious parents? I think as a parent myself, I'm also quite conscious about screen time. You know, why are children spending so much time being glued to the screens, right? I think this is also an opportunity to have a conversation with the community. And how do we reframe and like transform the conversation from guilt to like experience and empowerment, you know? So how do we have great conversations with children and with parents and with teachers about even this issue of like screen time? That's also, you know, so for example, if I can quote something from the lead school counselor in my school, I think like when children come and tell you about, oh, mommy, daddy, I want to be a YouTuber, you know. I mean, like instead of just saying, no, YouTuber, bad idea, you should be studying for your exams. I think this is also an opportunity for you to have conversations with your own children, you know. Oh, so why do you want to be a YouTuber, you know? I mean, what if the kids tell you, oh, I want to be rich and famous to be a YouTuber? I mean, like you can continue and like conversation. Oh, so what are the essential qualities to be a good YouTuber, to be a good TikToker, I mean, eventually maybe the children may, oh yeah, you need to speak well, dress well, count well. Oh, then language abilities are important, social emotional competencies are important, building great relationships with people and with leaders, people on the ground, they are also important. So I think use this as an opportunity to reframe and have great conversations and negotiations with one another to bring out the essence in education and not just like shut people out based on like screen time limits. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Yes.
For the second question, I think.
Yes,
Right.
second question.
So your question is it good or not putting student on the screen while the animal, the stuff is being around us? That's the question, see? So I would like to invite you to going back to the philosophy actually. What is actually IT for? So in my opinion, IT is actually dedicated for educators who will bring something impossible, becoming possible. So my point is that if you can find animal around you, so I would suggest do not use technology. So if you can find kangaroo, for example, in Indonesia, and you shouldn't go to Australia, but just text your internet and use technology. That's my use.
Great, that's a wonderful answer actually. So that was really good, two questions in one, right? And I will just quickly summarize because time is almost up. The two answers that I think I would like to distill. First one, on encouraging school owners. It's really about understanding the pain and pleasure points of the owners and pressing on them right. So if you're not too far away in terms of superior and inferior distance to the owner, then a good conversation with them to understand their pain and pleasure will help you determine how you will then present the case.
For example, me, Christian,
Yes.
I invited two special persons in my school to join this meeting. And this is one of my ways how to motivate them to adapt the technology. It's the school board as well.
Clever man there. And the second answer is what I'm hearing is for the lower grade students, grade 1 to 3, I'm hearing things like educate the parents, educate the teachers. It's not about the kids, it's about the adults around them and how we're deciding to use technology, isn't it? Okay, and we're just going to wrap up right now, 2 minutes left. Can I invite each of you to just very quickly leave some words of wisdom for our floor right now? Anything, on leadership and competencies of teachers that you'd like to leave them with? Maybe we start with Abi.
All right, this is my final statement then. That's IT is actually something undeniable, and this is an open source system. Yeah. On the other hand, our student is a Gen Z and also Alpha generation, so they cannot live without technology. So the use of IT in education in our school is something undeniable. So, hence, therefore, as the school leader, I do believe that the expansion, the use of IT in our school is something a must, and the leadership roles actually, as the very influential ones, how to promote this technology. So I agree with you. Actually, we have to start from the leader, and adopting technology is a big top and down policy, Christy. Top and down policy. Thank you.
Leo, one sentence.
One sentence, okay. Actually, the digital age is here, so there's no use blocking it. It's such a waste linking it. So yeah, it's here maybe to take your school, the teachers, the owners, the directors to go with you to the digital age. Yeah, you have to build a good culture. This term come up in our discussion before. It's like it's called iPhone mentality. We are not endorsed by iPhone or anything, but every time a new iPhone come up, everybody would just line up and want to try and change it, even though you just have last year's iPhone. This kind of mentality would be good to have in your school. Something new come up, don't run away. Line up, try it out.
Yeah, HP, 10 seconds.
Yeah, so just to write on to what he has said, I will just end with 3 adjectives that starts with ID. I mean, just like how we embrace iPhones and ChatGPTs and AI, right? So it's time for us to be adaptive, to be predictive, and also to be generative. So we are all in it together.
Thank you. Amrita, 5 seconds.
One sentence. Okay. Technology is the best way to sharpen the saw.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Right on the dot.